WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 5:30.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Let's start the clock on our first 6 minutes of news. And we begin in Washtenaw County, where 3 people are now behind bars in connection with the killing of 2 people and child abduction. This happened in Northfield Township around 8:30 last night. That's north of Ann Arbor. Police say they responded to a home where 3 people were found who had been shot.
They found 2 deceased adult in the residence, and there was 1 adult that was suffering from gunshot wounds as well, who was still alive. It's very rare. I've been here over 19 years. I believe this is our first homicide.
Officials say a 74-year-old man and a 50-year-old woman were killed, and a 53-year-old man survived. Now, 2 girls, ages 7 and 4, were missing but later found safe. Tonight, they are being treated in a hospital. Our ABC affiliate in Detroit reports the girls were foster children living with foster parents, and one of the people arrested is related to those girls. A man convicted of assaulting and torturing a woman in Grand Rapids last year is heading to prison. A judge ordered 35-year-old Paul Shank to serve a 17 to 80-year sentence. A jury convicted him last month. Last year in February, police responded to a home where Shank had attacked a Grand Rapids woman and dragged her around the house. He told police she fell down the stairs to explain why streaks of blood were found on the staircase and around the home. The woman survived the attack. In New York City, 10 people were hurt in a shooting outside of a nightclub while waiting to get in. Police say 3 or 4 men came up to the group and opened fire last night and then left in a car. About 30 shots were fired. Tonight, police have not announced a possible motive, but say this is not a case of terrorism. Looking at international news now, Israeli airstrikes killed at least 26 people across the Gaza Strip on Thursday, hitting Hamas security officers and an Israeli-declared humanitarian zone. Hundreds of thousands of displaced people are huddling in that area for warmth during the winter weather. The early morning strike there killed at least 10 people, including 3 children and 2 senior Hamas police officers. Israel's military says it targeted a senior officer in the Hamas-run police force. In the nation of Montenegro, 12 people, including 2 children, were shot to death in what officials say is one of the biggest tragedies in that country's history. Police say a man returned to a bar after a fight happened there and went on a shooting rampage. Many of those killed were his family members, or they knew the man. After opening fire, he left and was later found by police, and they say he killed himself before he could be arrested. Well, protesters for and against South Korean President Yoon gathered near his home today. The president is facing a possible arrest for attempting to impose martial law on the country. A court approved an arrest warrant on Tuesday. He's being investigated on accusations that he tried to use martial law to stage a coup. Under the warrant, officials have until Monday to arrest the president. There have been South Koreans showing support for Yoon while waving American flags and holding English signs saying "Stop the Steal." And back here in the United States, President Joe Biden is expected to award the Presidential Citizens Medal to 20 people, including former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney and Democratic Congressman Benny Thompson. The 2 politicians served on the committee that investigated the January 6, 2020 riot at the U.S. Capitol. Cheney, daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney, was one of the most conservative members of Congress, but lost her recent primary due in part to her participation in that investigation. President-elect Donald Trump has said Cheney and others on the committee should be prosecuted and jailed. Well, the FDA says the Braga Fresh brand of ready-to-eat broccoli is possibly contaminated with listeria. The broccoli is sold at Walmart stores, including here in Michigan. The voluntary notice sent out by the company says the product to watch out for is the 12-ounce bag of pre-washed broccoli. It will have a best buy date of December 10th of 2024. If you have this broccoli product at your home, throw it away. Other Braga Fresh or market side products are not part of this specific advisory. The aviation data firm Cirium just released its annual report ranking airlines for being on time, and number 1 is south of the border. Aeromexico, the flagship airline for Mexico, has the world's best record for on-time arrivals in 2024. 87% of Aeromexico flights arrived within 15 minutes of their scheduled arrivals. Number 2 is Saudia, which is based in Saudi Arabia. The highest-ranking U.S. airline is Delta, which came in 3rd. At the bottom of the list, you'll find Canada's WestJet, Air Canada, and Frontier, the Denver-based budget airline. In Los Angeles County tonight, sheriff's deputies are still handling emergency calls by radio since the county's dispatch computer system crashed on New Year's Eve. Officials say service is not interrupted and radio communications and 911 lines are fully operational. They say the computer system is extremely old and out of date, and deputies cannot log into their computers in patrol cars. Tonight, no word on the exact cause or when the problem will be fixed. If you're an owner of a Danish-Swedish farm dog, congratulations. The breed is now eligible to compete in the American Kennel Club. The breed goes back centuries in parts of Europe. The dog's main job was rodent patrol, but they also helped herd livestock, act as watchdogs, and play with farmers' children. The dogs can begin competing in 2026. And speaking of animals in the spotlight, when the next lunar year begins, it will be the year of the snake. In China, the years on the lunar calendar are represented by 12 different animals and qualities associated with them. The snake is a symbol of spirituality, reproduction, and longevity, but it also may represent evil and danger. So this year, the Chinese are countering some of those qualities by producing cute images of the reptile. Lunar New Year is on January 29th. Let's just focus on the longevity part of things, I think, Kendall.
Exactly. Forget about all those other negative things.
Yeah.
We're focusing on the positive this year.
Do we have any positive with related to, the weather here in mid-Michigan?
There's a chance for some sunshine this weekend. I think that's the best positive news that we have. Unless you're a fan of cooler temperatures, then you're going to love this forecast.
All right, your full forecast with Kendall right after the break and all the chilly details. And then later, Spider-Man is swinging into action with a new series. We'll have those details and more in this week's Popcorn Picks. Stick around for that and more, and we'll be right back.